The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I'm your host, Tim, certified sex educator, your local chaotic homosexual. And what do you call a cheap circumcision? It's called a ripoff. Ouch. Yeah. Nah. No. What'd you think about that?
That was pretty great, actually. I wasn't expecting that.
No, I'm just getting a whole bunch of jokes from my listeners. My hive, the chlamydiates, if you will.
Nice.
This sounds like it hurts. Jesus Christ.
That would.
Yeah.
As someone that's circumcised, that hurts me.
Yeah, I know. I just read the joke and I'm like, oh, God. Well, my fellow chlamydiates, my beautiful, beautiful listeners, that very gorgeous laugh, that very dulcet tone you hear on the other end of the mic is none other than porn star extraordinaire, Ali Rush. Ali, how are you doing?
Hi, Tim. I'm great, thanks. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
I am so much better now that you're here, you beautiful, sexy man.
I see you got your rosé too.
Of course.
I got my protein shake.
The two kinds of gays. Cheers. Well,
cheers.
Well, Ali, don't let me toot your horn. How about you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Ali Rush, and I'm kind of new to the porn world. I've been doing this for just over a year. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary in November. And I am just on this fun ride of discovering, more about myself and just having fun and really putting myself out there.
As you should. Okay. Yeah. I want to talk about that because I one time thought about porn back when I was an escort just to make a little more money. But I was like, do I want my face plastered on the internet forever? I'm not too sure. So walk me through the decision to get into porn. What were your thoughts? Any reservations that you had?
Definitely. So, I actually am a costume designer. I've been working in the film industry in Vancouver for about 5 years. And right before we went into that strike that is just finished, I kind of decided that I was done with working in the film industry in the capacity that I was working. I was just really burnt out and tired, and I just wasn't really enjoying showbiz or that aspect of showbiz. So I decided to take a step back, take some time off, and kind of reflect on what it is that I want to do with my life. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm literally doing this for free already. I'm posting thirst traps.
For free?
The world has seen my... Yeah, you know how it is on Grindr and in Instagram. You post slutty content. I enjoyed making slutty, thirsty content, and I'm doing it for free. I'm not making any money from that. So I was like, why don't I start to monetize that? And let's see where I can go with it. And it still gives me the creativity that I got from working as a costume designer. There's still a lot of creative aspects that I get to have fun with. And I'm meeting people and I'm traveling. So it just, it all kind of made sense to me that this is what I should give it a shot and see how it goes. And it's been really successful, actually.
Oh my God. I loved that. So back when I was still in sex work, I was still on Grindr. And then this one guy was like, hey, sexy, can I take a look at pictures of your feet? And that's where I was like, maybe I should monetize from this. I told him, yes. I normally don't give out feet pics just for free, but for you, I'm going to give it 50% off. So $100 a foot. And then Hook, line, and sinker.
Smart.
PayPal.
Yeah.
So tell me more about how your first time filming. Like, did you get a talent scout? Did you like do it OnlyFans directly? What was that like?
Yeah, I just started doing OnlyFans directly, and I just started recording myself and taking pictures and videos and doing mostly solo stuff. And yeah, just posting on Twitter and trying to build a social media following on Twitter and Instagram, a separate one from my personal account, obviously, because I'm like, I don't really think that everyone on my work account wants to see this. So yeah, I started doing custom videos for clients, and it was actually a custom video from a foot fetish client. He wanted to see some foot action.
Hey, give me that athlete's foot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I discovered that I like feet too, which was really great.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I never really looked at feet like that. Yeah.
I want to talk about that, but yeah, like, sorry to interrupt you. Just like your first time filming, your like expectations. What was just going through your head?
Well, the first time I was filming, I was just doing like solo stuff and like jack off videos and playing with toys and stuff. So, but this was a request. One of the first requests I had gotten from a client was to see some foot worship. So I did that with a friend of mine. And that was when I was like, oh, actually, I think that I've discovered something here. I think that I'm actually really enjoying this. Before then, I didn't honestly, I kind of thought feet were gross. To be totally honest with you, I'm like, they're dirty. There's like toe jam. Like, no thanks. Like,
Yum.
I'm not into them. Like all this kind of imagery.
Give me that
of
sexy
feet.
Ingrown toenail.
Yeah, which I'm struggling with right now. Actually, no! I have a horrible ingrown toenail. Yeah, I was doing a collab yesterday, and it started bleeding during the collab.
No.
Luckily, I told him, like, stay away from that foot. Like, let's just not get, but I left his hotel room and I'm looking on his bed sheet. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've left blood marks all over his.
Perioded all over his sheets.
Yeah, I know. So gross. So unsexy. So he didn't care, but I was mortified.
I would be too.
But this is what I mean. Like, toes can be gross sometimes. You know what I mean? But when they are, manicured nicely and taken care of, and just a hint of musk, a hint of, that gym sock. I'm here for it.
Give me that stench. Give me that unwashed toe jam, that gunk building up in there. I once got it.
You like your raunchy.
I do. I did get a request from a client who wanted me to just jog, but jog specifically on a dirt path. So he would...
Oh, like barefoot?
No, just like, he asked me to wear white socks so that when I jog on the dirt path, the dirt will start to gather on the sock together with my sweat and all that. And he just liked the combination of the earthiness and the stench of my feet. And I'm like, hey, money's money, girl.
Yeah. Get it. Right? I mean, honestly, whatever turns you on is great. Let's celebrate that.
Oh my God. That's so hot. What was like your first time filming with another content creator?
I'm trying to think.
I'm just trying to think back because I've had so many content. I fucked so many guys. Such a busy girl.
Well, this past year, yeah, like it's been a lot. I've been really hustling.
As you should.
So I honestly can't remember the very first collab that I did, but I can tell you, I think it was with someone local that wasn't even a content creator. Yes, I remember now, actually. It was a guy from Grindr, and he wasn't even a content creator. He just had a nice stick, and he was down to film. And I was like, this is great. So he came over, and we had some fun, and it was a good experience, actually. That was, for my first experience with the collab, I'm happy that was it, because I've had some stressful and, chaotic collaborations since then. So I'm really glad that wasn't my first experience, because I may have not continued doing it.
Can I ask about what you mean by chaotic collaboration?
Sure. I'm not going to mention any names.
No, please don't.
But I did a road trip down to throughout the U.S. on the west coast of the U.S. a couple months ago, and I was hitting like 5 or 6 different cities, and in one of those cities, I had made plans with a collaborator to go out to a farm that he lives at to film some like outdoor, like kind of
to get milked.
Raunchy. Yeah, like it was just a really creepy looking farm that he lived on. And I was like, this is maybe the perfect scenery for porn, actually. And when we went out there, I didn't realize that he like had a roommate that was the owner of the farm that was like present. So that just kind of threw me through a loop. There wasn't communication about that. I thought it was just going to be me and him on this farm, but it was not. But it was fine. Apparently, the landlord was also gay and he didn't mind. But
this happens all the time, kids. It's fine.
And then we got into it, and he had a lot of ideas and was like a very high anxiety person. And I'm also someone that struggles to keep myself calm and grounded at times. So his energy was just kind of sending me into the same space he was in. And it was just, he wanted to film like 6 or 7 different locations. He wanted to do costume changes for each location.
I'm sorry, Lady Gaga. You're on tour?
I mean, he just had he was really ambitious with his ideas, but the execution was just not good, unfortunately. And I ended up being there for, I think, like close to 6 hours. Like it was late at night by the time we finished, and I wanted to get the fuck out of there. Are we allowed to swear on this?
Come on. Okay. I'd be offended if you didn't.
For all the kids that are watching.
Yeah, it's because there's clearly under 18s tuning into Sex Ed with Tim. They probably are.
Because I swear a lot, so that's
please
good.
Swear, please.
It was just a lot. And then by the end of it, I was like, I don't even think I can use any of this. This is just too chaotic. And yeah, so
just all the nerves.
It was the nerves, the anxiety. And yeah, he had been doing it for a while and done some studio porn. So I kind of assumed that he would be
professional,
like a little bit more. Yeah, just like have a bit of a game plan, and he really didn't. And I shouldn't have assumed that he did, because we got halfway through and I was like, this is not going well.
Did you continue to work with him after that?
Well, he lives in the States, and I don't know. I need to I've been traumatized from that experience. I haven't even looked at the footage, to be honest.
I'm sorry, Vivi.
He was a nice guy, though. He was a really sweet guy, but it just wasn't working.
The energy just wasn't there. And like, I think I can relate to that. You know what? I can relate to that, because when I'm with clients who are like high strung or whatever, it puts me off my game. I was like, what do you want to do? I don't understand. You want to do this and this and this and that. And I'm like, I'm only one person. So to put that kind of energy and like have to set that aside for the camera, I don't think I could. And also like 6 hours seems like such a long time to just keep having sex, which is another thing that I'm like hesitant with when it came to my decision with entering the porn industry. So I'm like, how do you do it for like hours on end? Genuinely asking you.
I was exhausted by the end of it. We were not only we weren't filming for 6 hours straight, but a lot of the time was spent like moving lights and moving the camera and also like clearing the set, because like we would be in a barn that's so crowded full of crap. So we're like moving things around, doing set deck. Yeah, it was just a lot of, moving around and trying to figure out what we're going to do next. And yeah, by the end of it, I was really tired, and I was
not the life for you, and that's totally fine. No. Yeah. How long does it normally?
The ideal.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I think you were about to ask that question that I was going to say. The ideal time is like an hour, maybe 2. Like get in, get it done, and get out, and not have to stop and start, because it's so hard to get back into the zone when you have to do that. So, I like a 45-minute session with someone else filming. What a dream. You can actually have fun and enjoy it and just relax and
then just have fun with it. Yeah. 45 minutes.
Yeah,
that seems like a pretty conservative amount of time, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
2 hours though?
Yeah.
What do you do in those 2 hours? Just have sex straight?
No, I think with a 2-hour session, it's like get to know each other a little bit at first. I like to when I start, I don't just start filming right away. I'm like, let's hang out, especially if it's someone I've never met before. I want to get to know them. I want us to kind of get comfortable with each other and maybe, have a little bit of fun, a little bit of foreplay, kind of get into the mood before just pressing. I gotta understand how people can just press record and it's like, okay, and go. And, I guess maybe some people are just really good actors, but
please, no one is that
I like
good.
to do the more genuine. Yeah, I know. The porn industry can be bad for that.
Oh my God. You mean to tell me that porn actors are people too that need foreplay and care? What?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, I know. It's wild, right? Yeah. We need breaks sometimes. We need to drink water.
What? No, that's impossible. You're a fuck machine. You mean to tell me you need a water break? Please.
I know, right?
Have you ever had any like mishaps happen while recording? And then you're like, oh fuck, I gotta edit that out. Like, what are the things that we don't see? The cutting room floor.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious mishap is like maybe not being prepared enough for bottoming, and then a little bit of mess happens, and if you're lucky, you can salvage it and cut that part out. But there is definitely a market for that as well, I'm sure, but it's not my brand personally. But I think that's basically it. Or obviously, like the worst kind of mishap is not being able to get hard.
Really?
I've been in that situation where I'm not able to get hard when I'm supposed to top someone, and it's just because the vibe's not there, or maybe I didn't take enough Viagra or something like that. So the pressure to
to perform
be hard can be a lot.
Yeah.
Not that it happens all the time, but once in a while, that does happen, and the vibe is just not there. And I've had to even just be like, sorry, I don't think that we are able to do this.
You just like,
it's better to just stop before, than to go endure an hour of filming with someone that, neither of us are into each other. And I don't know, maybe with time I'll be better with that. But for now, I like to keep it real.
I mean, a fresh face in the porn industry, there's still a lot to learn. And also, like, you're doing this all on your own, right? Like, there's no talent agency or manager.
Yeah. Well, I did have a manager for a few months, and we actually decided to part ways recently just because we were not able to provide each other with what each other needed. So, but they were really great when I was on the road. I would not have been able to do that month-long road trip without his support, just in order to keeping me organized and helping me schedule collabs and keep me on schedule. So yeah, and doing all my editing and posting for me while I was gone. I would not have been able to do that while I'm traveling across the US. So that was great. And I one day I would like to work with an agency again, but for now I just want to bring the control back. That's another thing. I'm a bit of a control freak. I really like things to be exactly how I want them to be.
Oh my God, a high-strung gay.
Then I get... Yeah, I know.
How original.
How unusual. So yeah, that was also a challenge, having things be edited in a way that I wasn't wanting them to be done. So yeah, I'm doing it all alone again, and it's good. I'm having my best month yet.
Yeah, she's a girl boss, a gatekeeper. She's working it. Do you have any other creators that you enjoyed working with? If you can drop their name, it's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah, definitely. Morgan Thicke was someone that I worked with while I was in San Diego.
Oh my God, I'm such a fan of his. That's so cool.
Yeah. Morgan Thicke is so cool, and we had a great time together. He's so sexy, but such a lovely person.
It looks like it.
I think he uses he and they pronouns, actually.
I thought it was just they, them, but okay.
Yeah, I think he, they.
Okay.
Well, let's just call them they. Yeah, they are such a great human, and we had really great chemistry.
That's
and
awesome.
He has really beautiful feet.
You're serious about this whole feet thing, and I'm here for it. Like,
feet and pits, man. Those are my things. Feet and pits are, the way to get me going.
For the listeners that aren't too familiar with the whole foot armpit fetish, like, give us a little bit of insight into why you find that so attractive.
Well, I think that obviously the scent of a man, like those smells, are erotic, and it's to do with pheromones as well. There's something scientific. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I know that when I smell that scent, especially to someone I'm attracted to, it drives me kind of wild. And I like to even sniff my own pits when they're ripe while I'm baiting, because it smells good. It's like natural poppers, kind of,
Natural poppers.
And I think there's something about like it's kind of like wrong, or it's kind of dirty taboo to do that. I think it's taboo. Yeah, exactly. And I think that adds to the excitement as well.
I would say, I think for me, like there isn't much science behind this, and there really should be. But from the research that I've done, scents we associate with something pleasurable, because our nose is the strongest connector to our memory. So when you smell like your stench, you smell your pits and your feet, it does remind you of a very specific memory. It could be like the boys' locker room. It could have been like watching a guy change in the next changing room at the store. And we attribute it to masculinity. And so with the foot fetish, there is research done where in our brain, the part that's connected to our feet is actually very close to the part that's connected to our genitals. So the signals cross over. So feet and genitals, you kind of like get aroused from it. And I think that's really cool.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I thought so, and I really need more, but this is what we're working with, right? The sexual sciences are not funded enough, and I think it really should be. Just like how...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right? Like, just like how cancer and HIV are researched. And, oh yeah, speaking of HIV. So, you and I, two very beautiful gay men of color. I have experienced, the weird aspects of racism in sex work. As an Asian guy, I have been turned down simply because I was Asian. And I have also been fetishized. So I'm like, which one is it? Like, I was going through the US one time and I opened Grindr at a truck stop, and this guy was like, hey, I'm in the mood for some Chinese food. And I'm like, okay.
What?
Yeah. Chinese food?
Yikes, that's rough.
Yeah. I was like,
that's awful.
And then I kind of like kept humoring him. I was like, okay, here's Google Maps. This is your nearest Chinese restaurant. There you go. It's like, I'm kind of looking for some Chinese chicken balls. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that restaurant has some too. I was like, yeah, I was at a loss for words. And then he was like, I just want to eat you out, or you're Chinese, right? I'm like, Filipino, first of all. And second, not a way to start a conversation with someone that you want to like fuck, right? So I wanted to ask you, as being a person of color within the gay porn industry, what has your experience been like?
Well, it's interesting because you don't hear things as directly always from people, it's more... I see it through action. I see it when, a Caucasian person starts an account and they blow up right away and everything that they post is just super popular. But then when a person of color does that, we have to put a lot more work in to be recognized. And just in the world in general, like any form of entertainment, like, yeah, we're seeing more diversity now in like mainstream film, but it's, you know, the porn industry is still really slow to that, I find. And, you know, all these major studios have maybe like one or two token like people of color. And that's it.
Their diversity hire, just one or two, and then we're good. Like one black guy on Sean Cody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And it's ridiculous. And then people just don't want to acknowledge that that is what it is, that it is racism. But that's not true. You know, even like the requests that I've gotten from people, like I've had a guy ask me to make a video for him where I was calling my ass like my Arab pussy, or fucked my tight Arab pussy, or something like that. And I was like, I'm not really comfortable with doing that. And he just didn't understand why. He was like, just, you know, trying to think of other experiences, even just being like people assuming that I'm East Indian or, you know, a different race altogether. And then the reverse of that, people being like, you'd be hotter if you didn't have all that hair. Or, you know, like, why don't you like take which is not, I mean, it's not the popular thing nowadays. Everyone's into hair, but there are definitely.
Oh, yeah. I love body hair. Oh my God. I just want to bury my face in it and hibernate in there.
Here, stick your face in here, babe.
Oh my God, that stench. Oh, I love it.
So yeah, it's been, and I actually recently had someone troll me in my DMs, calling me a white man's cum dumpster. And I was like, I mean, I responded with, I'm a cum dumpster for all races, baby. Like,
everyone is welcome on this ride. Yeah, my asshole is the United Nations.
Yes, exactly that. And he was, you know, just kept commenting on other posts and saying things like, it's obvious what your preference is. It's obvious that your preference is white men. And I was, you know, pretty frustrated with that, and a little hurt by that too, because that's kind of the opposite of what I'm trying to do. Like, I really want my porn to include trans men, you know, black men, brown men, Asian men. Like, I want it to just be all in different body types too, like not just muscle chisel guys. Like, I don't like that there's these niches of, you know, content creators that only work with specific looking people, and they're just saying it's their brand. But I just think that it is discrimination, in my opinion. So it kind of hurt to hear that kind of message from someone who was probably a person of color and is mad about the racism that there is in the world and the discrimination that we get and the way that we're treated in the gay community. So, but the reality is there's not a lot of people of color in porn comparatively to white people. And especially where I live in Vancouver, it's, you know, there's not a lot of content creators to begin with out here. The pool is pretty small. And then, you know, the pool of non-white creators is even smaller. So I don't really have a lot of options out here. I wish I would have more opportunity to do that, but I'm kind of making do with what is available to me. But yeah, anyways, that was a hurtful little comment that I wanted to talk about because it's the other side of it, you know? And the porn is just pretty racist.
I mean, yeah, of course. And I'm sorry that you got that message. That's really fucking awful. But I understand also that like this messenger or whatever, that he was hurting and he was just taking it out on you and whatever. You're just making do with what you have, which is a predominantly white community. Vancouver is just that, unfortunately. I also would argue in your defense that you're probably using them as a way to kind of immerse yourself and make yourself known, because the chances that these white creators have more followers than you are pretty high. So you're like, you know what? Let's collaborate so that I can get my name out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, get your money, girl. The way that I have been plugging myself in other people's podcasts just so that I can get more downloads. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So fuck that guy for, projecting his insecurities onto you. That's so stupid. Like,
thank you. Yeah. I think I was just feeling for him, and that's why I was kind of hurt by it too. But yeah, no, I get that. I really do. And I recognize that there, especially for, like, I'm an Iranian Arab man. There's not a lot of us doing porn. So I really, really want to be that representation so that maybe more Middle Eastern men are comfortable coming into the industry. It's also, you really have to hustle in the beginning to even get your name out there. The competition is pretty high. So I really want to, put myself out there as much as I can and make my name known. And I'm happy to diversify anyone's OnlyFans page. If they're like only hooking up with white guys, they're like, this brown guy, you come here, let's do some porn for diversity. Like, I don't care. I'm for that. Like, I'm happy to do that. I want there to be more diversity in porn.
As there should be. And if people are looking at the episode cover of this where you're like half naked, I'm pretty sure that should be more than enough to convince them to watch your content. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and those who have yet to decide, Ali Rush is very sexy. Even like through this webcam here, it's just absolutely hot.
Thank you.
Y'all need to support him.
So are you, baby.
Oh my God, stop it. You're just saying that. Thank you. That is very kind.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes.
What's up, all you sick fucking perverts? Don't you just love love? The Love Shop has everything you need to feel the love in the air or in between your legs, wherever you want, really. They've got everything from vibrators, lubes, lingerie, and even full-sized sex dolls. Wow, I guess love really does come in all shapes and sizes. Visit loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 15% off the whole store. And the best part is that they ship all over Canada, US, and Ireland? To all my whores in Dublin, top of the morning to ya. That's loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and checkout code SEXEDWithTim for 15% off the entire store. Now get to fucking. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetishwear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jockstraps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me. 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my God. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me. And girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jock strap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there. And I'm on the train. I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWithTim for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
I work in nonprofit as my full time for a charity called Let's Stop AIDS. And we are all about HIV education and teaching people, specifically youth, about U equals U. And it is very surprising that in Canada, at least, that 1 in 3 young Canadians, young being 18 to 29, they don't use a condom because all they think about is that when a condom is used, it's specifically for preventing pregnancy. They do know about U equals U. However, when asked if they would be friends with someone who is HIV positive and undetectable, they said they wouldn't be friends with them. which like, I know it's really strange. If you ever want the report, I can send it to you.
I would love to see
this,
that.
but
yeah,
it is very fascinating.
And this is like under 18, or what's the age range of
18
people?
18 to
here?
29.
18 to 29. Okay, so young adults.
So exactly.
They wouldn't be
in
friends
Canada.
with someone, or you wouldn't sleep with someone that's HIV positive.
They would not be friends with someone who was undetectable.
Are you kidding? This is actually a
wild?
fact. Wow, this is wild.
These are the numbers of 2023, and it is so crazy.
That is crazy.
So I'm wondering then, have you ever seen this kind of discrimination within the porn industry too?
I want to actually talk about this because this is actually kind of something that I have been scared to share about myself because I'm new in this new industry and I don't want this to be an obstacle in my way, but I feel like it's important to talk about it. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to come out on your show. I am an HIV positive man. I am undetectable, and I've been undetectable for I think 7 years now.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. Look at you on your art.
And I just really think it's crazy that it's, the year 2023 and we have so much science that is backing, the U=U movement and just how, being HIV positive isn't a death sentence and you can live a very full, happy life being HIV positive. And also you don't need to worry about putting your sexual partners at risk of transmitting HIV when they are undetectable and taking the medication. For some reason in the porn industry, they are not down to play ball with HIV positive men. And I have friends that, were doing studio work and then suddenly it stopped and they were like, I don't understand why it stopped so abruptly. The only thing I can think of is that they found out that I'm HIV positive. I have never done a studio shoot, so that's why I was kind of hesitant in making this information about myself so public. But I feel like it's important because I just don't get it. I don't understand why this is a thing. They're testing people for STDs and STIs. Why not add an HIV test as well to confirm that someone's undetectable? I just think that it's not.
Or even like a sensitivity training towards people who have HIV.
And these industry leaders they just don't want to even go down that path. And it's a shame because there's a lot of really talented performers that are HIV positive that are, not able to work with these major companies.
And also, they're missing out on a very beautiful demographic, not because you're HIV positive, but because you are taking care of your body so well. Like, as an HIV positive person, you need to be on top of your health 24/7 or else risk a blip in your viral count. So I don't understand why they're discriminating against a very specific and knowledgeable part of gay culture. And in my experience of teaching and interacting with other gay men, they are probably the worst at retaining this kind of information because I teach kids. I teach full-grown adults, mostly straight, unfortunately, but who knows sex better than a gay man?
Right.
And I find them to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? I find them to be more receptive of this information more than gay men, even though all of the marketing of U=U and PrEP and everything has been targeted towards gay men. So it is really strange. And also, I trust my sexual partners more if they're undetectable because they're disclosing something to me and they're going to tell me right away if they tested positive for, I don't know, an STI or something. So I'm like, yes, that's fine. Love it. Thank you for telling me. I'll get tested and then we'll fuck again in a few weeks or so.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Right? I'd rather talk with HIV positive people who are maintaining their undetectable status because they're always on top of everything. And I feel like the porn industry needs to follow suit because what the fuck?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to get off my milk carton, apple crate, whatever thing for a second, but I'm just like very mad at that. And just to rewind again with what you were saying about your desire to diversify your porn, which I love, you would like to work with some trans creators. Here is where I'm like, I really hope that does happen. However, it is just the rampant not homophobia, sorry. Well, there is internalized homophobia within gays, but conversation another time. But the rampant transphobia that happens within our community. I have a trans friend. He's a trans man. And he told me about how whenever he walks out of his apartment, there's a guy that would greet him, and he doesn't think it's malicious. However, the guy would greet my friend and say, "Hey, girl." And it's like, you guys barely know each other. Like, how you doing, girl? And like, it's so off-putting to him. This is happening within our own community, like LGBTQIA2S+, right? Why is this still a thing? Have you had any experience with this kind of transphobia in Vancouver?
So, I mean, I have only filmed with one FTM trans man, and his name's Tommy Tanner. Love Tommy. He is a really, really sweet guy from Montreal.
Shout out to Tommy.
Yay, we love you, Tommy. And that scene with Tommy was actually my first experience ever with a trans person sexually, and it was lovely. It was amazing. I found it really hot, and we made some really, really beautiful work together. So I'm really proud about that. We actually collabed twice, and while he was in town, and we had a lot of fun, and I definitely am keen to do that again with either himself or with other trans performers as well. I did receive some trolls as well, some internet trolls on Twitter when I posted the teaser, and people were, saying the usual, why do we need to accept this as the new norm for gay men? Why are we trying to change things always? And also people asking me things like, are you bi? Are you bisexual now? Is that
oh my God, I hate that.
Which, it's just so, it's just so disrespectful. I think there was only one of them that I actually felt like I needed to respond to and just put him in his place and just basically said that that's not going to be accepted here. If you have something like that to say, you can go talk about it somewhere else because you're blocked, and like, I'm not going to accept that on my page. I wanted to make a precedent to everyone else on my page as well that like I don't tolerate that. Luckily, it hasn't happened a lot more since then, except for the guy asking if I was bisexual.
So for those of you listening, the reason why that's very offensive, even though it's not directed at Ali, or it was, the comment was kind of skirting around the target, which is Tommy. So why calling you bisexual is so offensive is because it downplays Tommy's identity as a man. Like, it is just this kind of weird way of calling Tommy a woman again, when clearly this guy is a beautiful man. So I don't understand this weird, like, sort of, I don't know, black and white thinking within our community, when black and white, we're the fucking rainbow. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Right? That's so strange.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with just misogyny, honestly. I think that these gay men hate vaginas because they hate women. Gays? Yeah. And they are pissed that they have to, or I guess they don't have to look at anything. That's the thing. You can just keep scrolling if you don't like it, right? But they decided that they needed to say something. And
I hate those gays that are like, oh my God, ew, a vagina. Ah! Like, What the fuck?
I know. It's like, grow up and have some respect. Because all your fucking favorite divas have them. And, here you are talking, throwing shade.
Yeah. How many drag race girls have a vagina? Like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You probably stand them.
Like, Britney, Madonna, Mariah, they all have pussies.
Literally.
Guess what?
Oh my God, what? You're telling me Cher has one too?
Yeah, she does.
It's probably singing,
Yeah.
Do you believe in life after love? Yeah, that vagina's not going out of retirement anytime soon.
No, definitely not. She'll
Like
have a hard working pussy.
Yeah, how many comeback tours is she gonna have? I'm on my 100th
Is she going to be
comeback tour.
revived? She's going to come back from the dead after she dies to do one last tour.
Honestly, the scientists need to get on some sort of resurrection Lazarus kind of miracle formula because I would pay for that.
100%.
Oh my God. So in the face of all of these kinds of stigma, whether it be racism and HIV, how do you find yourself in this, and why keep doing porn when it's so discriminatory against someone of your HIV status and your ethnicity?
I want to keep doing it because I'm not going to let these trolls stop me from doing what I do. There's a lot of great people out there that are so kind, and they just want to connect with people. They just want human connection. We have great relationships. So the majority of the people that I am dealing with are great and lovely and very supportive and are excited, about my journey and excited that there is another Middle Eastern guy in the porn industry. Not
to fetishize you, but you are my type.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate
I love
that.
Middle Eastern boys. Oh my God. So gentlemanly.
And it's such a shame that there's so many Middle Eastern guys that are closeted and, they just don't get to live their lives
and they don't get to have sex with us.
Yeah, or they do, but they'll only do it late at night when their wives are sleeping.
Oh my God. Okay, not gonna lie, that is kind of hot.
It is kind of hot. Yeah, agreed.
And I have done that before, which is kind of wild. Yeah, when I say I have done that, the wife was literally in the next room over.
Was she asleep?
Yeah, she was asleep. And we were in the guest room. Yeah, we were so quiet.
Wow.
I think he got off on that. I don't know. Whatever. Easiest $500 I've ever made. So.
Yeah, work. Yeah. I think the worst I was when I hooked up with my friend in high school and his girlfriend was sleeping over as well. So we went out into his car so that I could suck his dick. I felt bad about that.
Yeah, for what? All 10 minutes of that interaction? Okay.
Yeah, well, I was friends with his girlfriend too, so I was kind of it was kind of a shady moment. Honestly, we were fucked up and we weren't thinking clearly, and we just kept it a secret. Luckily, they didn't stay together much longer after that because they weren't right for each other.
You broke them up.
I did not. Well, hope maybe. Okay. I don't
know. Okay, Vanderpump Rules.
Right.
So, Ali, just before we wrap everything up, I wanted to kind of give the listeners a bit of a positive note. When you are in this industry that is so vehemently discriminatory, how do you find your worth in this place? How do you find your sort of how do you find your voice and say, no, I belong here?
That's something that I really wanted to talk about was finding my self-worth. And I had, honestly, this past year has been huge in my growth for self-love and just understanding what my self-worth is and demanding it because people are asking you to film videos for $20 or to, just all these expectations that, the reward is minuscule. And I was like, really? Is this how it is? At first I was like, okay, I guess this is how it is. And then I quickly learned that no, people will just ask for the world and they want to give you pennies. So it's been really, really great in me discovering and really enforcing what my self-worth is. And I even raised the subscription price of my OnlyFans and my Just for Fans because I was like, I feel like I'm worth $10 a month. So I'm going to raise that to $10 a month. The amount of work that I'm putting into this, there's constant new content coming on the page every week. So let's up this to $10. And I was really scared to do that, but I'm really happy I did because people see the value and they are subscribing.
Yeah. Do people want like an expense report from us why we need to raise our prices?
Seriously. Yeah. And
what do you want?
Yeah, it's been interesting learning. Well, I've been really valuing my getting comfortable with asking for what I'm worth. I was never really comfortable talking about money as well before getting into this work. So being able to ask for what I think I'm worth and be firm in that has been huge. The self-love aspects, I think self-love and self-worth are like they're basically the same thing. You know, it's kind of intertwined. And working in doing OnlyFans and just putting myself out there doing adult content creation, I thought might be damaging to my self-esteem and to how I feel about myself, but it's actually been really empowering. Not only am I my own boss and I am, making art and I'm putting it out into the world and people are appreciating it and enjoying it. And it's been a great boost for me, for someone that has not always been super into myself. It's been a lot of work over the years to kind of build that up to the place where I am now. So yeah, I've been really, really grateful to my fans that they see what I should see and I do see now, and it's been beautiful. I really, owe it to them.
I love it. Oh, that's so sweet. I think there is nothing more powerful for self-love than when you record yourself and watch yourself. The number of times I've jacked off to my own recordings,
Yeah.
I never posted, but for my own personal use. That's great. Well, if it's any consolation, Ali, I will love you enough for the both of us.
Thanks, babe.
No problem. Well, before we leave, I am introducing a new segment, and I would like to test your knowledge a little bit on porn, because you are in gay porn. So I think it's valuable for you to know a little bit of your porn history.
Sure.
This game is called Home or Homo. I'm going to give you a bunch of titles, and you're going to figure out whether or not it's gay porn or HGTV. If you think it's a show in HGTV, say home. If you think it's a gay porn, say homo. Ready?
Okay. I can't wait.
Awesome. These are quite difficult, so get ready. The first title I have for you is Backyard Takeover.
That's home.
Good job. Okay, Awesome. Landscape designer Jamie Dury helps homeowners transform their neglected, overgrown, and out of control outdoor spaces. Good job.
I think I've seen that show. I think that's why I knew it.
Have you?
I do like to watch those shows.
Listen, gays fall into Drag Race, HGTV, Food Network, one of those
porn.
things. Yeah, porn. That too. That's amazing. Okay, next one here is called Flying Solo.
Flying Solo. That must be porn or homo.
Wow. Okay, you got it. For the ultimate in scaldingly hot voyeuristic action, it's time to load your weapons and take a long, hard aim at Flying Solo.
Hot. I love that.
Yeah, it's like what do you call it? A bunch of pilots who are into each other, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very
amazing.
old. It's very old. It's a DVD. Yeah.
Nice.
Like they're standing in the most Top Gun pose that you can think of. And
right.
Just
That's
this one
hilarious.
guy here. That's just the bottom. You know he's the bottom because he's like all the way down here at dick level.
Ready to serve.
Ready to serve. That's it. Okay. Next one I have here, just a few more. The next one here is called Group Home.
Group home. That sounds to me like it would be a porn. Like homo.
Wow, you're on a roll.
Am I?
That's
Nice.
3 for 3. Welcome to the group home where 5 nasty boys work, live, and fuck. Wow, look at you. You are quite knowledgeable. I have done this for other guests, and they have a very hard time. I mean,
Really?
look at all these twinks.
Well, look at all those cute Caucasian twinks.
Read.
The reason why I knew that one was going to not be on HGTV though, because I'm like, they only show rich people on HGTV. There's not going to be a group home on HGTV. No. Everyone's got their own home on HGTV.
That's true. Next one here is called Boise Boys. Boise as in like Boise, Idaho.
Boise Boys. That must be a porn. Homo.
Ooh, this is where you got you. Yes,
You
Boise
got me.
Boys is HGTV. Polar opposite friends Luke and Clint take an unconventional approach to house flipping in their hometown of Boise, Idaho. It's hard,
Okay.
right?
All right. For sure. I thought that was going to be a porn. You got me.
Right? It's so weird. Like, who on the boardroom of HGTV was like, yep, that's a good title. Let's go with it. What? Oh my God.
I mean, sex sells, I guess, you know?
That is true. And they know their demographic, which is just a bunch of gays that don't have an H or a G.
Yes.
All right. We've got 2 more and you're at 3. So you can make up for it. The next one here is called Elbow Room, as in your arm.
Elbow room. I mean, it sounds like a porn, but I think that it is HGTV. I'm going to say home.
Nice. Host
Yeah.
Chip Wade helps a family who has outgrown their home devise and undertake ingenious large-scale renovations, custom remodels to home additions. Yeah, you
There's a
got
cafe
it.
that used to be in Vancouver called the Elbow Room Cafe. So I was like, I think that it's probably something to do with that, but I was wrong.
Ooh, okay. That sounds hot.
Yeah.
Elbow room, cafe, like just enough to wiggle around.
And it was the kind of place where the staff would be mean to you. Like they would be like, get your own coffee, bitch.
Oh my God, I would love that. How do you like it hot? Here, heat it up yourself.
Yeah. The
my
shade
God.
is good.
Oh God, just how I like my coffee. Dark, shady, and just full of attitude. Last one here is California Kings.
California Kings.
Like a bed.
Yeah, that must be a porn. I'm going to say homo.
You know what? You are so good at this.
Did
With
I
the
get
exception
it?
of one, yeah. California Kings are to die for. They have the best bods and the best cocks to play with. Their skin is always nice and golden, and they can go on for days. Like, this one is like very much leaning into the stereotype of what gay men should look like. You got the steely blue eyes, the dark features, and then the abs. Like you can tell this was very like, let's get the first pretty boy that we can find off the street and just take a picture of him.
Definitely. And you can tell this is definitely before the era of filler because he has no lips, this poor guy.
Oh my God, you're right. What is that lined paper?
If he was, doing porn nowadays, definitely those would be filled out.
Oh yeah. He doesn't have any sort of blowjob lips whatsoever.
No DSLs.
Yeah. Dick sucking lips. And like, look at these satellite dishes on the side of his head.
I actually think that's cute. I don't know why. I have a thing. I like big ears on men. I think it's kind of cute. Yeah.
All right, fine. It's to me, it's like giving French pit bull, you know?
As long as the head, like his head is, grown into
Proportioned.
it. Yeah, exactly. I like a big ear on a man.
Ooh, we love a big everything on men. I love a big belly. I love big arms. Not a
I
big
like
ego.
a big fat ass. Yeah, not a big ego. Big fat ass, big balls.
Yes.
But can we talk about this for a second? I know we're running out of time.
That's okay.
I love all penis sizes. I'm tired of this conversation of only big dicks, only come to talk to me if you're hung or whatever. no, like let's appreciate all different penis sizes, please.
I have been a proponent of all penis sizes, mostly because when I take a big dick, more often than not, it fucking hurts. All right.
Yes.
And this is not me being like, oh, Tim, you're just not strong. Like, no, it's just not like your rectum is only like 6 to 8 inches. So anything above that, it's just going to impale you quite literally. So
yeah, it won't. Yeah. I've had to take some of those 10 inchers and I'm very tight. Contrary to popular belief, I got a tight hole, and it takes some work to get those big ones in there.
Wow,
but, yeah, that can be fun sometimes too. Though I like a big cock, but I also like a small cock, a medium cock. Let's just appreciate all cocks,
all of it. Like every cock, shade and size, and just smells even.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Ooh, love the taste of smegma in the morning.
I draw my line at smegma, but definitely I'm all for the musky ball sack. I will sniff those musky balls for a while.
I love it. Well, Chlamydiates, you heard it here. Ali Rush is all for dicks, all for body sizes. If you're in the Vancouver area, you know where to find his OnlyFans. And Ali, just to put a bit of competition between us, I am the tightest hole in the Greater Toronto area. Just saying.
Are you? Oh, girl. Okay, we're gonna have to test that.
Yeah, I'll come to Vancouver and I'll top. You come to Ali and you'll come to me and you'll top.
Deal. I'm down. Yes! I'm actually going to be moving to Toronto in the new year.
Really? That's amazing. Oh my God.
It's time to get out of Vancouver. I'm trying to get out of this little fishing village and get into a real city.
As you should. Well, I can't wait to see you when you get to Vancouver. Please hit me up and I'll show you around the village and we'll have a good time, have sex.
I would love that. Thank you. Yes, and that too, of course.
Well, before I let you go, before we part ways, can you please tell the listeners where they can find you on the internet?
Yes, you can find me. My handle is Ali Got Back. That's my Twitter and my TikTok handle. My Instagram is Ali Got Back with 2 Ks because Instagram is homophobic and they shut down the original account. Thanks, gross. Instagram.
And also a link to your OnlyFans will be in the show notes, so you can find Ali's content and contact information and social media all in there. And to all of you that made it this far into this chaotic ass conversation, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe because you know what? You're supporting gay content, queer content, sex education. And if you don't, you're a homophobe. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Have a great evening, everyone. And I will see you at the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your support, you dirty little slut. Mwah.